Welcome to the channel, people. Do you remember this poll? If you don't, you're probably new here, and if that's the case, my name is Brandi. So the winner was number 2, and like usual, I'm going to start this off by seeing exactly what I'm getting myself into. The appearance of this is a little bit deceiving because from the look, it's rather big, but in reality, it's kind of small, which is why I fell in love with it. It's only 19 inches, well, about 18 and a half inches wide and 17 inches tall. Not even 2 feet, no matter which way you look at it, people. This mirror piece has seen better days, and I don't even know where the mirror is. And this joint right here, it's literally on the half. Drawers are in good structural condition, but there is some bowing in the bottom. We're going to need to fix that later. And this is the moment you're witnessing right here that I noticed this, and we'll get to that too. But before we do, a quick look at the very top, which is in great condition. No major stains or anything like that at first glance. To clean this piece, I'm going to use Dixie Belle's White Lightning, and this is my first time using this, and I put it in a spray bottle, and of course the spray bottle was not cooperating with me. It took me a moment to realize I had to turn the little knob, but I got it working. Listen, I was having a moment, okay? I'm entitled to it. But I do want to show you this. Look at all the nasty bits separating and pulling in this cleaner. I really love this stuff. I'll be using this going forward. And yes, the directions say to put it in a bucket, and I'm using a spray bottle because I want to clean it. You clean your piece how you want. Stop judging me. And look at this. Blech, blech, blech. The whole piece was that dirty. So here is some of what we're dealing with. The back of this is cracked. And this side right here, let's see if I can focus, there we go. It needs some wood glue. Now I know I'm probably going to get some heat for this, but I'm going to take this off. I feel like to reattach this and then put the mirror on here is going to be a lot more work than what I'm going to get out of it. And I am trying to make a profit on this, and if I continue adding and doing all the extras, that's not going to happen for me. So I'm going to just take this off, and we're going to seal in the holes. This is a chisel, and you can use this or a pry bar or something like this to separate when you're trying to separate things. However, this is the moment I noticed those nails right there. So that was not prying out so well. So I dug the wood filler out of there. Oh, yes. And we're just gonna, screws. All right, please don't let this be wood glued down. We'll see what happens. Just gonna keep, oh my God, I have no hand strength some days. Oh. The nail came out fairly easy once I got it off, out of there. And then whatever this was, wood glue, wood filler, something, it scraped off fairly easy as well. Ew. Yucky. For this part, I'm just taking a putty knife and smooshing in the DAP Premium Wood Filler and all the little... There was so much more damage than I thought, at a quick glance. And going to get all this in. We're going to have to let this dry 24 hours. So I just come out. I'm going to drop a little knowledge gem on y'all real quick. I just come out to check on the piece after I put the wood filler on there. And for those of you that are watching this because you resell, or maybe you're a seller, or you are looking for inspiration for your own furniture art, or you just refinish furniture, this is something that plucks my nerves a little bit about when you thrift. So I like to, as most people do, get the best deal you can possibly get for your money. The issue comes into, for those of you who sell the thrifted pieces, it blows my mind when, and I get it, everybody's trying to make a profit, but the gentleman that sold me this, now I talked him down to $15. It still wasn't even worth $15 to me. Like, I should have paid $5, and I'm gonna show you why. There's so much work to be done and mending in this piece with things that I'm gonna end up spending 3 to 4 days doing wood filler. And I'm not one of those people, you know, I put my name on this and I sell it. So it is important for me to make sure that the product is as best as I can possibly get it. Now, for those of you that might just be like, we're gonna slap some stuff on here and pray it just lasts, bless y'all. I don't do that. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, this thing was nailed down into sections, and whoever did this, it was probably their shortcut into, you know, not wanting to take the time to put the wood filler under here. But now there's, you know, these holes in here. So as you can see, I'm coming back in with the wood filler. I did it, let me back up. I put it on each, you know, here, and oh gosh, you remember that nasty, I cleaned all that up. We got the holes. I just came back out. Now, the wood filler I used, it shrunk. So, and that's going to happen. I'm not holding the wood filler accountable. It shrunk in there. So when you have that happen, you need to then put another layer on there, because when you sand, you want it to be as flat as you can possibly get it. Now, the cracks and stuff that were in the back of this, so I'm dealing with that. There are, oh God, I just hurt my knee. Okay, suck that up. See, these holes were also, there was a huge crack here, and the wood filler is kind of sinking in, and it's not a big deal, but because there is so much going on with this, I'm going to spend several days on it. Now, if you have a bunch of furniture, and if you have a bunch of furniture and you do stuff at one time, now I could do that, but if you're familiar with my DIY content, I don't just do flips. This is my side hustle, and I sell pieces, I thrift, I do a bunch of little things. I'm a DIYer of all trades, but I have a ton of furniture, so I could be doing more than just one piece, but I'm working on more than one film at this time. So if you just do furniture, and you can afford to, especially if you're selling this as part of your livelihood, you can afford to wait the days. Make sure that you're doing this at the same time as you're doing another piece, so this way you're not just waiting for this one item. For me, you know, this was worth about $5 to me with the extra work I'm gonna have to put into it. And then I'm worried about the sanding, how it's going to look with the final, with the top. I don't know. We're going to have to see how this comes out. Now, I'm done talking to y'all. You know how I feel about filming myself, but I'm frustrated, and I just had to share that with you, especially for people that do this. Like, this is their livelihood. This is their side business. This is a hobby, and they sell things. I wanted you to understand the importance of, you know, when you purchase a piece, take a little bit more time to look it over and really think about what you're spending and the amount of time that you're going to have to put into it. And if I just wouldn't have loved this piece because of the way it looked, you know, I probably wouldn't have spent $15 on it, but I really like the way it looked, and obviously used it too because you picked this. I decided I'm going to give this entire piece a nice scuff sand using my Ryobi orbital sander and 180 grit sandpaper. And I do want to warn you that be mindful of swirl marks if you use an orbital sander. All the videos I've watched, no one ever warned me about these swirl marks. But if you're not cleaning your piece, getting the dust off in between and applying too much pressure one side to the next, you know, and being real fast, it can leave those marks. So you've been warned. No one warned me. I'm warning you. This is the struggle. You know, I'm here to help you. To do the tiny little pieces, I just took an 800 grit thin piece, wrapped it around a sanding block, and then went in by hand to, you know, not make a giant issue with the orbital sander on the little pieces. And to clean off the dust, I'm just taking a tack cloth, doing a once over the whole piece, getting all that stuff off. Look at that crusty sand bits. We need to get it all off of there. And then taking a damp, wet, paper towel, and then I just let it dry. You're welcome to do this however you want if you got a blower. I was being lazy. I didn't feel like getting, the thing out. Taking 123 Bullseye primer. This is my favorite spray paint primer. If you're not familiar with me, I'm a spray paint girl, and if I can spray paint, get around a couple little quick edges, but I really just like the application of this stuff. Remember I said the drawers were bowing a little bit, so to fix that I took some shims and spread them across the entire bottom. If you have a long piece of wood, that'll work too. I use wood glue to attach them to each other and everything, slide them out and nail in the sides with the nail gun, the wood glue, and here is the shims that I used for this. We're going to be using these 3 paints from Dixie Belle to create like an ombre look over the piece. And we're going to do that and blend it in several different sections. My ideas just kept falling through the cracks with this piece because one thing wasn't there. I'm not going to bore y'all with that, but basically this was the look I landed on, and I absolutely am in love with the final finish of it. But back to the blending. So I took the 3 colors and I'm using them and just alternating. You're going to also see me using my zebra brush and a chippy brush here. And the reason I did that is I wanted to show you all that it does not always have to be the $10 and $20 and $30 brushes to create something beautiful. I'm literally using some Walmart chippy brushes. Now I would not use the Home Depot ones because not all chippy brushes are created equal, but I do really like the quality of the ones that they have at Walmart. I also do want to reiterate that I am a DIY entertainment channel. I bring y'all along with my DIY journeys. This is my side hustle. I don't go in depth on tutorial-ish stuff with my furniture. I just, show you these for inspiration. If you're looking for more, step by step, there are amazing creators that do that. One is Katja, another is Brush by Brandi. My favorite is Kristana, and I'm sure there are so many other ones. You can drop the comments down below. Feel free, because I know people talk in my comments. We chat down there, so help other people out that may be here, to get information out. I'm all about trying to help people grow, and if this is your hustle, this is your business, by all means, take the information and learn from it. I did 1 coat over the entire piece, and I blend as I go. I don't do just one solid, and then I feel like if you get a base blend coat on here and then you kind of let it dry, it really helps the next day when you come to go over it and really blend in everything. For the top, I left it kind of stripey. I mixed in the 3 colors. I did not mix them very well, and I did this also on my blue desk for my daughter. If you have not seen that, I can pop a little picture here and link it in the description box, where it just gives a very, very beautiful gradient. See how I just want to show you again, like it's still stripey, like the paint colors, you can see them, but it will do this to the top of your piece. It just gives you so many different colors without you having to blend, layer after layer after layer. It just does it in one coat, and I really like the look. But we're gonna let this dry and then come back. Well, I let this dry and come back because I already made the piece. This is the video, and this is where we're going to do the blending. And this is about as tutorial-ish as I'm gonna get with this. I'm just gonna spend a second just describing it as best as I can so that way you have an understanding from this video of how I do it, and then go check out those other creators for more in-depth information. Whenever you're blending, you'll want a paintbrush for each color and then a neutral brush that you keep dry with, over and over to blend the colors, and you want to keep everything wet. Use a paper towel to constantly keep cleaning it, but back and forth, up and down, and it will slowly start to look like that instead of look like this. It's not a perfect blend, but this is where I'm leaving it. You'll see why we're getting there. I would go over it a third time if I wasn't going through all this next stuff, but we're going to start with the stencils, and these are going on the drawers. I purchased them from Amazon. We're going to do a little bit of a raised stencil using some joint compound, this Rust-Oleum metallic, and we're going to add a little bit of paint to it, just some, a light paint color, just to, make it stand out a little bit more. We're going to put it on the front of the drawers and tape the drawers together all on top of one another, and find the center of your drawer, mark them straight down, so that way you can put one of these little keyholes on the center of the drawer. I do cut the stencil. I'm not worried about it. I didn't pay that much for the stencil, so this is just what's working best for me. I mix everything in with the joint compound, and it's kind of like a buttery, it's like a cream cheese. It's kind of like a cream cheese paste. And then make sure that your painter's tape is, a little bit tacky-tized so it's not too sticky. And then apply you can do this as thick as you want. You can use fancy tools. I'm using a popsicle stick. I mean, I'm not too complicated here. If it's free, it's flat, I'm using it, and look at it. Look at that. These turned out so beautiful, and I did let them dry 24 hours before I came back and added a little bit of extra shading on the sides. But while that was drying, we're going to now take 3 different colors with our makeup sponges and start doing like an ombre effect on this beautiful stencil. Again, I picked these up from Amazon. You can just, type in stencils. There are 6-inch stencils on Amazon, and, so many options come up, people. Options, and they're not really expensive. On the ends, I did take that same Rust-Oleum metallic to give it that, it's kind of shiny, but it's not shiny. And I went and did this every other, like on the side, and then in the very center I only did, well, not the center, the very center on the opposites of every other, I just did metallic, and I did it in light and heavy spots all over it. I really, really, really appreciate the ombre look of the paint, how it came out in the stencil, and to finish the whole piece, just tie it all in, I'm just taking a whitewash, a little bit of the Dixie Belle paint, some water, a t-shirt, wiping it back with little sections. I wouldn't do a whole section, it depends on you. Look at this beautiful piece. What do you guys think about the decoupage? I know I didn't show it, but the video was long enough already. There were so many details, and I just did it off camera and wanted to show you. This piece has been completely loved inside and out. It is just stunning. I am so happy with how it turned out. Let me know what you all think. Did I do it justice? Thank you so much for hanging out with me and picking this piece. Until next time, people. Bye!